really just depends on their personality, particularly if they were once... Welcome back to the channel, co-creators. It's mysticrainn, the internet psychic medium and spiritual advisor, and I'm here to talk to you about animal spirits. So before we jump into this video, shameless plug, if you want to get a hold of me, if you want a tarot reading by me, or if you would like a coaching session, check out the links in the description box below. We are also out of New Year, New Me territory, which means we're going into the love, romance, Valentine's Day territory, which means all astrology reports that are love and romance related are now 40% off. So if that is something that interests you, check out the links in the description box below. I will also soon be launching the Academy of Ascended Thoughts, which will have online spiritual courses where you can go and learn and be taught by me. If you are interested in enrolling when the Academy is launched, then hit subscribe, hit that like button so you can get the notifications on when that happens. Okay, so I'm going to try really hard to be, well, honestly, to not flub my words, because this is going to be a video where we actually have to talk about cultural appropriation. So there are different types of animal spirits. You have like animal spirits, which is usually interchangeable with the idea of an animal totem. And the idea, my understanding behind this, is that you kind of work with the spirit of a particular animal. And at times you have the ability to invoke the energy of this particular animal for protection or for guardianship. However, this is a cultural tradition of Native American and indigenous backgrounds. So if that is not your culture, it's probably not... Well, I mean, it's cultural appropriation. I'm just going to call it what it is, right? Just be aware of it. It's kind of like how people say smudging, but smudging is Native American, that's indigenous. So if you do that practice, you should call it smug cleansing, right? This is kind of the same thing. Now, there are animal guides, and there is also the idea of familiars, which are a bit different, that kind of moves out of the cultural appropriation territory, right? And so an animal guide will kind of function as a spiritual guide, but in animal form. And so here are the things about animals. Animals can or may not have in a previous lifetime been human. They choose whether or not they want to incarnate as an animal. A lot of animals have been human in previous lifetimes. A lot of animals were different species in previous lifetimes. And if you are somebody that has the ability to communicate with animals, then a lot of times they will just tell you what they were, or what it is that they want to do. So for example, my animal guide, Duchess, where'd she go? Duchess, come here, girl. Duchess, yes, you, come here. Come here. We'll try this again. Duchess, look at the camera. Look at the camera. This is Duchess. This is my animal guide. Oh, okay, see? Told you. She's protected, right? She's guarding the castle. Okay. All right, I didn't expect it to go this way. You done? You finished? No? Okay. Okay. So this little bugger right here actually used to be a bear in a lifetime. And I believe that she was a brown bear. And, oh, okay. 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 Yeah, see, she's serving her purpose. Good girl. Good girl, Duchess. I don't know what you're mad at, but we're done? Okay. So she was actually a brown bear in a previous lifetime. How do I know this? I don't know. The bitch told me. She just, one day, it's like she shapeshifts. By the way, she has a tendency to shapeshift. It's a little weird. Her face will change sometimes. It's really weird. And so like one day I looked at her and I swear to God, I was looking in the face of a bear and I said to her, why do you look like that? And she actually told me that she used to be a bear in a previous lifetime. I asked her why. She said that bears actually live very relaxed lives. They don't really do much other than hibernate and eat, and she likes that. She actually questioned me and asked me why I chose to be a human. She doesn't understand humans. She thinks that being a human is one of the dumbest decisions that you can make because she feels that humans are so stressed for no reason. She says humans always make a big deal out of everything when everything is not that serious. And so, you know, when she was a puppy, she was a chatty McCaffey because she wanted to know about everything. She had just incarnated, she came into this world, and so she has a lot of questions. She doesn't talk as much now, but when she does speak, she actually has things to say. She has guidance, you know what I mean? Or sometimes she just wants to tell me about her previous life. She wants to tell me about things that she likes or things that she doesn't like. There are times if I come home after being away for a long period of time, she will also tell me what she did that day, which honestly usually isn't much. But I always know if somebody maybe knocked on the door when I was not home because she'll tell me that I had a visitor. Like she'll tell me somebody knocked on the door and I don't know who they were. So, you know, animals are actually very chatty. And so people are probably like, well, how do you speak to animals? Yeah, it's the same way. So a spirit is a spirit is a spirit is a spirit is a spirit, right? It doesn't matter which form it decided to take. So if you were at a place in your journey where you understand, oh, that's my baby. That's my baby. What are you doing? What are you doing? I don't know. You want to get down? You can tell me. You do. Oh, she said she's trying to get comfortable. She didn't say she wants. She just said she's trying to. There she goes. Yeah. But so a spirit is a spirit is a spirit. It doesn't matter what body they actually or what form they choose to take. It all operates the same way. It's all feeling. It's all telepathy. So if you are somewhere in your journey where you have the ability to channel or maybe communicate with your spirit guides or communicate with loved ones that are on the other side of the veil, then you have the ability to communicate with animals as well. It is the same thing. It works exactly the same way. There's no different special trick. Now, I will give you guys an example of how you probably already do this. So for anybody that has a pet, maybe you have a dog, maybe you have a cat, if at any point in time you intuitively knew that something was wrong with them, something was bothering them, that they were hungry or that they were uncomfortable in their situation or whatever the case may be, if at any point in time you intuitively knew, or another thing that's probably a really good example, if you have animals and maybe you felt like something was staring at you and you turned around and your dog was staring at you or your cat was staring at you and you felt that energy, if you have experienced this before, then you also have the ability to do this. It's all energy. Now, animals, this is starting to turn into a completely different video. I feel like I've completely gone on track, but animals have the ability, they communicate with words. Some of them talk. It really just depends on their personality, particularly if they were once... particularly if they were human in a particular lifetime, that may be their preferred medium of communication. Some animals also communicate in pictures, like they'll like communicate, it almost like if you are someone that's clairvoyant to you, it may look like they're sending you Polaroids, right? That you can see in your mind's eye. But animals also just communicate to you in feeling. If you've ever petted an animal and you just knew that they felt good, right? They communicate with you in feeling. Now, so animal guides work just like spirit guides in the sense that they give you wisdom, but they are also there to protect you, to look after you. Now, and some people will call this a familiar, your protector, your guider. It just depends on, well, it just depends on what it is that you actually want to call it. And for those who have been asking if I have a pet, obviously, I do. Look at her. Look at her. I love her. Now, I can say that for her, it is truly a situation that I'm not entirely sure if I would be here today if it wasn't for her. I'm definitely incredibly aware of the fact that she has her own way of guiding and protecting and looking out for it. Now, granted, you know, it's a Yorkie. It's not like she can fight off a burglar or anything, but she has her own ways of alerting me that something is not right, that's not just barking out the window. of just communicating like, hey, like something is wrong. She also can be quite demanding when she wants to be. One time I was sitting on the couch and I just like heard this voice say, like, go clean my room, meaning her room. She was like, it's too dirty, go clean it. And I was like sitting on the couch doing nothing, minding my own business, and I like got that thought form, and I was like, okay. Like, all right, fine. Very much living up to her name. Now, all of your animal guides will not necessarily be incarnate. They will not necessarily be a pet. You can also have animal guides in the spirit world as well. Now, this I find happens more often with actual pets. I've noticed this. People have recounted time and times again where they have had a pet that passed away, and then they saw the pet maybe in their dreams. The pet always follows them around when they're in their dreams. This would be like a sign of the pet protecting you when you're in your dream world or in your dream state. They still come back because, again, they're still spirits. They just chose that form, right? And another way you can see this, if anybody you have an animal and maybe the animal goes to the vet or the animal goes to the groomer and they're gone from the house for a little bit of time, you can feel the absence of them, right? They're still spirits. They just chose a particular form. But you can have animal guides that are on the other side of the veil. You can also have animal guides on the other side of the veil that maybe you were with in a previous lifetime, and maybe they just haven't incarnated again, who still want to be your companion, but they're on the other side of the veil, and so they watch after you in that particular way as well. If you are somebody that works with animals, so maybe if you are a vet or a groomer or a trainer or whatever it is, if you have a profession where you work with animals, it's very likely that you have a number of animal guides. There are people who are very good at working with animals. They just get it. They understand what the animal needs are. It's almost like they're this animal whisperer. They probably have a really profound intuitive capability to communicate with those animals, but just didn't have an awareness of it. And it's very, very likely that they have animal guides and spirit as well. That's helping them do that. That's helping them work with animals on this side of the veil. Guides oftentimes will teach you, a lot of times their wisdom is how to be. Their wisdom is usually teaching you the art of the I am, the it is simply because it is. They teach you how to be. That's their wisdom. They teach you how to stay calm. They teach you how to relax. They teach you how to not think so far into the future, how to live one day at a time. They teach you to be present. That's a lot of what their wisdom is. Animals also have a very profound ability to teach you about compassion, about unconditional love, about operating outside of ego, about operating without guilt or without shame, about taking things on the chin and taking things as they come. They very much teach you to be in the now space, and that's why they can be companions for so many people, because they have the ability to take you out of your ego, take you out of being 5 years in the present, and they put you back in today. And by watching and observing animals, it can be very relaxing for a lot of people, because what you're watching and observing is energy in the now space. Now, there's another kind of animal guide as well. These are like messenger guides, and these are usually animals of flight. So birds, butterflies, anything that can fly. Those usually come with messages, right? Anything with wings usually have messages for you. So they usually operate in that type of capacity. It's less about the protection and the guardianship, and it's more about bringing you messages. So, for example, a lot of people can identify with maybe seeing a ladybug or seeing a hummingbird or seeing a butterfly, and then in that moment being inspired, feeling inspired to do something, because a lot of times they just come with messages. So anyway, that is animal spirits, animal guides. I know it was a short video today, but honestly, that's all it really takes. It's not that complicated. It's really a spirit guide in animal form. That's the form that particular spirit chose. Easy peasy, little squeezy. But anyways, again, if you want to get in touch, links in the description box below. And as always, I'll see you guys soon.